$618 more for Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, and SSI beneficiaries. How much higher your monthly benefits should be. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, some new information was just released on Social Security, and it's a little bit shocking, which is exactly why I want to bring it to your attention right here in this video, in the amount of $618 more every single month. That's what I want to talk about here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing all the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on, and most importantly, how it pertains to you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything out there right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low income or fixed income beneficiary. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and also remember, I'm here for you right by your side every single day. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that's my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. Alright, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about the new information that just hit the wire in regards to Social Security benefits and how they majorly dropped the ball with these benefits, and how beneficiaries should be getting an extra $618 more on average every single month right now. And again, this is pretty shocking stuff. Let me quickly ask you this much. What would it do to your lifestyle right now if you were getting an extra $618 more every single month? So not just $618, but more on top of what you're currently getting. So maybe you're getting, I don't know, $900, $914, $600, $1,000, whatever it happens to be, doesn't really matter. Add an extra $618 on top of that. That's what we're talking about here. Let me talk you through the details about this, because this is some pretty shocking information, and if they just would have taken action years ago, this is what we'd be talking about right now. However, at the same time, there's some other issues that I also want to talk about that this possibly would have led to, and maybe this was just so intentional, but we'll talk about that as well. However, let me talk about the details of this report, because it was actually pretty interesting and really well done. Did you realize that the vast majority of fixed income beneficiaries right now rely on their monthly benefit for the vast majority of their monthly income? In fact, over half, like a huge percentage of Social Security beneficiaries rely on their monthly benefit for 90+% of their monthly income. Now again, I know that you probably recognize that, because the vast majority of you here in the community are probably in this percentage, right? You're probably somebody that's relying on your monthly benefit as the vast majority of your monthly income. So again, you can see here the reliance on Social Security and all these fixed income benefits I mentioned earlier. It's very, very important. These programs are incredibly important. I don't think we can talk enough how incredibly important these programs actually are, and how they really need to be around, and realistically how we need Congress to step up and do something about these programs to raise benefits, because the reliance on these programs is very, very high. And again, there's even more people every single day. In fact, it's estimated 10,000 people are filing for Social Security every single day. Not every week, not every month, every day. It's a lot of people, right? 10,000 people. That's going to take a lot of time to process all those applications. Anyway, of course, they've been working on that for a very long time. But my point is, these programs are incredibly important. However, the report goes on to show this much. With all these beneficiaries that have been drawing on these benefits for so long now, basically what has happened, because of inaction out of Congress for so many years now, basically what's happening is these monthly benefits are not keeping up with real inflation. Now again, this comes as no surprise, especially during this year that we've seen all this very high inflation over the last year and a half or so. This comes as no surprise, as we've talked about issues like this for a very long time now. But here's what it comes down to. With all this high inflation, especially with the very high inflation that we saw in the second half of 2021, all throughout 2022, and all of this inflation we're going to be seeing in 2023 as well, they're actually estimating that right now, because of all this inflation, it has really increased these numbers. And again, Social Security benefits and all the fixed income benefits have not been keeping up with real inflation over the last several, 15, 20 years or so. And what it really comes down to is simply that because benefits benefits have not been adjusted accurately to reflect this inflation and what the living expenses are for fixed income beneficiaries. As a result of that, each and every year, beneficiaries are falling behind by 0.2%, 0.5%, or 0.5 percentage point, 0.7%, 1%, 1.5%. All of these little adjustments each and every year are compounding over years and years and years, and therefore it's adding up to a lot of money. Now, don't get me wrong. If we didn't get an extra benefit raise of, say, 0.2% or 0.5 percentage point 1 year, I mean, yeah, of course we want that, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be like a game changer for a lot of people, right? But here's the difference. When this happens time and time and time again, year after year after year, and we look at the whole perspective of this over the course of 10, 15, 20, 25 years, the problem with this is these little incremental changes, 0.2%, 0.5 percentage point, 0.7%, 1%, each and every year compounded over long periods of time, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and all of a sudden we're talking about a huge difference in the amount of this report now, talking about $618 is the difference. So here's what it comes down to. We're going back to early 2000s, right? So back right around when we turned from the 1990s into the great old 2000s, right? So if they would have taken action, by the way, when I say they, I'm not talking about Social Security. I'm talking about Congress. Congress is the one who has the ability and who has the authority to change this. If Congress would have adjusted simply just this one change alone, nothing else, no big $200 raises, no other adjustments to Social Security, nothing else like that. Just simply adjusting the way that the annual cost of living adjustment was calculated from the CPI-W, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, to the CPI-E, which is the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. If they would have made that one simple change, and again, would this be very hard for Congress to do? No. This would be so easy for Congress to do. It would be no big deal at all. But again, let me talk to you here in just a minute why this may have been intentional years ago. And I'll get to that here in just a second. But here's what it comes down to. If Congress would have made this one very simple change, the CPI-W to the CPI-E, which better reflects the actual living expenses of fixed income beneficiaries, we would have been looking at an average right now, according to this report, an average benefit increase of $618 more. Now again, this is the average. Some people may have gotten $300 more. Some people could have gotten $500. Some people could have gotten $700. This is just on average, $618 more on average every single month right now, just by making that one simple change about 23 or so years ago. If they would have done that one change about 23 years ago, the average beneficiary would be seeing over $600 more per month right now in their monthly benefit. And again, the reason for that is compounding of the little incremental changes a little bit each and every year over long periods of time, in this case, about 23 years. And therefore, it all adds up to $618 every single month, or about, what does that come out to? About $7,200 roughly each and every year. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. That'd be life-changing for a lot of people right now, right? That'd be the difference between enough food in your fridge, gas in your car, insurance on your car, maybe some new tires on your car, maybe some new clothes for the winter, new clothes for the summer, paying all your utilities, maybe living in a different place, maybe even buying a new car, buying a new house, all kinds of things like this. It would be life-changing, to say the least, for a lot of people, right? However, now let's quickly talk about why this may have been intentional and why Congress may not have done this. Here's the issue. We all know about the solvency issues with Social Security right now, right? We've been hearing about this for a very long time now, and we know in about 12 or so years, again, give or take a little bit based on everything, and we're going to be getting the next report out of the Social Security Board of Trustees in just a few months from now. But when we get that next report, we already know that there's solvency issues with Social Security, okay? Basically meaning the trust fund is going to be depleted and they'll be reducing benefits by about 20% at that time. However, just think of this. In the event that fixed income beneficiaries, as in Social Security beneficiaries, were actually getting an extra $618 more per month right now, guess what would be happening with the trust fund? Well, I can tell you this much. It probably would have been depleted already. If not, it'd be very close to doing so. So maybe Congress intentionally didn't take these actions years and years ago, and who knows if they actually will take these actions at any point right now or at some point in the future, but maybe they didn't do it just because they knew that this would really increase the solvency date the insolvency date of Social Security benefits and the trust fund, right? So maybe they looked at the big picture over all these years where they've been talking about this, and they've seen all the benefits of adjusting the annual cost of living adjustment from the CPI-W to the CPI-E. Maybe they simply didn't make these changes just because they knew if they did that, it would increase the insolvency date. It would push it up way further into the future, as in we may already be at that date if that would have happened right now. So we may have already gone through the insolvency period of time. But again, we don't know that yet because honestly, I haven't run the numbers on that, and realistically, it would take a lot of calculating to figure that out, and then still, we wouldn't even know the answers on it. So again, I'm probably not going to run that just because there's really no way to figure that out. But basically, the insolvency that we're looking at in roughly, mid 2035-ish range or so, give or take a few years, that could have been happening right now. If we were looking at millions of beneficiaries, again, say at that time, say 23 years or so ago, what was it? Maybe 30, 35 million people, and increasing over time, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, up to right now where there's about 64 million Social Security retirement beneficiaries. That's a lot of extra money going out the door if we're talking on average an extra $618. So this is what it really comes down to. So when it comes down to it, that many people have, many fixed income beneficiaries, as in Social Security beneficiaries, saying, my benefits should be higher. I think they cheated us. Well, if you said that, it's kind of accurate. You know what I mean? Now, again, it's not like they did anything intentional where they're taking benefits away, but rather they're just not taking the necessary steps to adjust the benefits accurately to better reflect the real living expenses and real inflation that is impacting the low income and primarily fixed income beneficiaries. So it's not like they did something intentional to actually change these benefits and to reduce benefits. They didn't really do that, but rather their inaction is causing lower benefits, right? They know this. They've been talking about changing the annual cost of living adjustment for years. We've been seeing this for years, and they've known about it for years as well. Simple change, CPI-W to the CPI-E. This one simple change would have done it for a lot of people. We'd be talking about totally different things right now. Would we be having these issues that many fixed income beneficiaries are having? Good question. We don't really know. But I can tell you this much. An extra $618 more every single month right now for the vast majority of beneficiaries would be the difference of having these conversations and not. We probably wouldn't even need to have these conversations because $618 more would probably do it for the vast majority of beneficiaries. Anyway, just another report that hits the wire out there, and I want to bring this to your attention. So again, Congress could still make these actions, even though if they did it today, yes, it would be helpful, but we really wouldn't see the major impacts of this for many years to come into the future because, again, compounding, that's where it really comes in, right? Little incremental changes each and every year, compounded over long periods of time, that's where you see the huge changes in many years out into the future. And again, if they just would have done this 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, we'd be looking at huge numbers for fixed income beneficiaries these days. So anyway, I want to bring this to your attention, another report I came across, and I wanted to share it with you right here in this video. So again, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe down below. If you haven't done so yet, I'm watching all this new information hitting the wire. Again, I'm breaking it down to let you know how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account. And of course, I also want to point out anything out there, not only just these reports like this, but I also want to point out anything that's happening right now. As we're getting new bills, packages, proposals, amendments, we're getting new announcements and new information coming out of the administration and lawmakers in regards to the low income and fixed income. There's millions and millions of people. In fact, as of right now, there are like 140 million households in this country that are considered low income. So like pretty much half the households in this country are considered low income. So they got a major problem ahead of them, and they got to do something about this. Either way, I truly want to help you out in any way that I can. So again, please subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward. I'll be here for you right by your side every day. Make sure to share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy, have a good one, and I'll catch you again.